Hey, hey, hey. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Mike Dolce Knows channel. Today, we got a fun conversation. Well, I just posted on Instagram. I threw up in this story, so I'll apologize for being a few minutes late here and being slightly distracted as we get up and running. There's quite a bit to do as we go solo here. But today, the conversation of the day is the messy middle. What is the messy middle? So, for everyone here right now, this is for everyone who's 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old. You are in that middle stage of life. Those decades in which, well, there's a lot of complexity. And I want to share some insight from my own story, but I want to give you valuable takeaways that hopefully you can implement into your own world. And look, I even have notes here to share with you. So let me back it up. We all start life with goals and dreams, and there's things we want to accomplish. Now, society and culture and our family, well, they also have some pretty strong opinions on what you should do with your life, what a good life looks like, what success should look like to you. But as we get through our adolescence and into our teens and out of those teen years into the early 20s, well, we adapt, we evolve, we change. Our philosophy, our worldview changes many times during those formative years. And as we progress through our mid 20s into our 30s, well, guess what? Life becomes pretty darn complicated. Because what happens? Well, we've gone through the education system, we've gone through the trade schools, we have some sort, hopefully, fingers crossed, we have some sort of skill and accreditation that defines our ability to provide value to the world. Well, that's the job market. You have some sort of usable trade that you can trade for compensation with which you can then build your life, right? I'm going to talk about, all these areas. I categorize them. And this is going to be a pretty quick video. I just wanted to get through the philosophical approach here. We go through the 20s. We make a lot of mistakes in our teen years and our early 20s years. And those of you, and I know we have a good following on our platforms of those in their late teens into their 20 years old, the 20s. Do your best, crush it. Make calculated mistakes. Don't hurt anyone. Don't hurt yourself. But you have the ability to try some things that are all new. Everything's new at that age and stage of life, but be a good person. Like, really do your best and start thinking of what today's decisions will become down the road, all the good and the bad. But when we get into the 30s, well, usually, hopefully, we've found a path in life. Hopefully, we've found some sort of career track, maybe not the ideal job, but we have a pretty good idea of what we want to be doing with our life at that point, right? Because you're already 3 decades in at that point. You have a pretty good idea of what you want to be doing. Hopefully, you have some sort of job experience, some sort of skill set that you can apply to the free market and get compensated. Hopefully, you found someone of similar goals and outlooks that you start to walk the journey of life together, a significant other, possibly even a spouse. Now, I know the age of marriage has gone up over the years, and I know the age of having children has gone up over the years, but most people will find themselves married in their 30s. Most people will find themselves with children in their 30s. And this is the beginning of the messy middle. There are more responsibilities at this point. There are other people depending on you, both guys and gals. There are other humans depending on you. Again, this is the messy middle. Now, you have a place to live. You've looked for a place to live. You found a place to live. God forbid, maybe now it's even your own track of dirt. Maybe you've purchased your own property or a condo or whatever this might be. You have a vehicle or two in the driveway. You have a job that you're working on. You have new responsibilities. You have taxes and filing jointly and head of household and dependents. You have to worry about health care and maybe dental work for the kids one day, or college accounts and 529s. Busy, life gets busy. Now your old friends from school or from the neighborhood are calling you to hang out. Maybe your extended family, your brothers and sisters, your cousins want you to pop over one day, or they want to pop over yours. Your parents, your spouse's parents, well, they want a little bit of time too. Again, the messy middle. Does this sound good for everyone? This is and I want to make this as general as possible, because we have people all over the world who come to this channel, and it's so awesome, and thank you. So we're a very diverse group here. But these are similarities no matter where you are on the socioeconomic scale. This all happens right in this 30 or so years of age frame. Well, then we have the 40s, we have the 50s, and this glide path affects us all. Because in the 40s and in the 50s, well, we're typically still raising the kids. We typically still have all the trappings, but even more complexity as time goes. So now that we have that, let me just kind of break things down. And this is myself. I am spot in the middle. I am in that fourth decade of life. I've gone through the 30s. I found the complexity. 30 starts off kind of like the 20s. The 30s ends much more similar to being in your 50s. Like 30s is a big leap year. 40s, hopefully there's a little bit more stability and structure. And then the 50s, life begins to change because goals and values and forward-thinking plans change. Now, here through the Dolce Diet, we have a grouping of systems and principles. It's very easy to educate large populations with principles. Well, we speak about the 5 F's, and I want to just briefly cover the 5 F's and apply those, because I have some really solid takeaways I'm going to share with you guys here. Well, the 5 F's are what? Fitness, family, finance, future, and then what we call for me. Let's say that again. Fitness, family, finance, future, and for me. Those are in order of importance, in my opinion. Our personal fitness is the most important thing that we have. Some people get mad that their God is more important or their family is more important. That is very important, but you do a disservice to your God. You do a disservice to your family if you are not the most fit version of yourself. And if that is not your priority, you can do that and dedicate your fitness to your family and to your faith. Personal fitness is the most important thing, and I'm going to cover personal fitness by age here in a moment. Family. Why else do we do what we do? What's more important than our family, the relationships that we have? And family can be extended. Family does not have to be blood. I consider certain humans in my life family, and they do not share my last name. We do not share one single member of the family tree, but they are more family to me in many ways in my life, in my world, than some people who have my same name and who share the same DNA as I do. So family does not have to be your nuclear family, although it should be. It can extend and should extend. We have fitness, we have family, your finances. That's the way the world works. Money makes the world go round, and being a custodian of your finances is very important. I'm going to briefly cover that here in this video also, just a few more minutes, and I'll wrap this up for you guys. And guys and gals, feel free to leave any questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer questions in the chat after this video. So we have fitness, we have family, we have finance, future. If you're in your 30s, you got to think about your 40s and 50s and 60s. And if you're 50s, and you got to be thinking about your 60s and 70s and 80s, we have to always be thinking long term. What here again, the Dolce Diet nutrition principles, we are a longevity-based nutrition company. When we focus on long-term outcomes, the short-term dietary decisions are obvious and clear. We will never risk long-term health for short-term performance. Period. The end. Which is why we're so successful with short-term sports performance, 3 weeks to shredded, and UFC fighters and Hollywood actors getting screen ready. That's a short-term outcome. We always use a long-term philosophy. Future, always think long-term to make short-term decisions. And then the last one for this is for me. What is for you? Well, that is me time, not free time. And I'm going to explain the difference between me time and free time. Okay. Free time is you just sitting there wanking off, doing whatever you're doing in life, wasting time. Me time is you utilizing this precious time, and we only have so many minutes on this planet. Me time is utilizing this very specific amount of time, whether it's 15 minutes or 90 minutes, whatever that is, but clearly allocating me time for yourself. That is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. And this is your ability to recharge your batteries, your emotional batteries, to pursue endeavors that are important to only you, regardless of what the spouse thinks or the kids think or anybody else thinks. As long as you're not hurting anyone and you love to do something, whatever that might be, and it adds value to you, 20% of your time should be devoted to me time. Hopefully, this is a pursuit to help you become a better version of yourself. That's why we say me time and not free time. I want you to think like that. Words have power, right? Me time, not free time. Now, let me just briefly jump in. I'll share this screen here. Let me move it to the side. And I want to let's touch on the finances briefly. A lot of people think about finances. And every Friday on our big sister channel, the Dolce Diet channel, we have Finance Fridays. We cover a lot of it. But let's just say if you're 30 years old, and let me back up for a second. I think I'm jumping here too soon. Let's look at finance because we have our fitness. And I'm going to cover fitness at the end because that's of course the specialty and most powerful. We're going to talk about what you should be thinking by decade and what you should be focused on by decade. But with regards to your finances, we're talking about compounding interest. We're thinking long-term. We want to have a retirement account. So when we do hit 59 and a half, 62, 65 years old, there's a big war chest of money sitting there so you never have to work again. We also want to think in what we call bridge accounts. What is a bridge account? A bridge account is a amount of money that is in an investment vehicle that is there waiting for you, that is pre-retirement, that allows you and your family the autonomy to do what you want to do, to live where you want to live, to go where you want to go. This is a bridge account that you should be saving and planning for. Again, we always think long term. Now, let me briefly explain what this means to you at this age and stage of life. So, bang, right here. This is a financial investment calculator. I'll run through very briefly. Now, let me actually make myself smaller. Hopefully you can see that just a little bit better here. Watch this very briefly. And I'll talk 30s, 40s, and 50s. At 30 years old, you want to retire at 65. You have zero in investments right now. Strong suggestion is that you should not financial advice, just a friendly suggestion. You should contribute at least $500 per month into a Roth IRA or an IRA, an investment vehicle. Talk to your CPA about this. Annual rate of return of the S&P 500 is 10 to 12%. We'll say 11%. If you simply save $500 per month, starting at 30 years old, well, you have about $2.5 million waiting for you in retirement. Most of you right now, ladies and gentlemen, most of you in your 30s, you spend more than $500 per month on food, on drink, on going out on the weekends, on having a couple drinks with friends, on your stupid, $1,200 newest iPhone, whatever that is. If you really look, you can come up with $500. You guys are very successful. Hopefully you have more than this, but $500 per month, my friends, this is the bare minimum. That's $600 a year. Now, what happens if this changes? This is why it's important to start young. So all my 30-year-old friends right now, start young. 40 years old, if you invest just that $500 per month at 40, well, guess what? That's still a good chunk of change. Right now, you got $788,000. You can see that you only contributed $150,000 of your money over 25 years. Okay. Well, that grew an additional $638. That is not a bad chunk of change. But what you should do is you should actually, at 40 years old, you should be able to add more to the pot. So now you're adding $1,500 instead of $500, and that should likely scale 30. Let's say 30 years old, it's 500, and 31 years old, maybe it's 600, and 32, maybe it's 700. So slowly you're adding, you're scaling every year. You get a cost of living increase. You get a little bonus. You get a little bump. The spouse starts a little eBay, Etsy store, what have you. You want to make sure you're paying long-term because you can see now at 40 years old, well, you've had to contribute $450,000 but it's grown an additional 1.9. Not bad. And then my friends who are in the 50-year-old generation, if you only invest the same as you did at 40, guess what? Well, boom, now you're back down to 682. So what you're going to have to do in your 50s is you're actually going to have to contribute. Ooh, that's not a lot. Quite a bit more just to catch up. See the difference in numbers here as we age? It gets a little harder. Bam. So at 50 years old, you will now have to invest $5,500 per month. Well, that's a lot of cash. You're talking almost 60 grand. You're going to have to stack just to get what you would have had if you started earlier. But do not worry, because even if you can only save $500 per month at 50 years old, time or tough, that's still $90,000 you put in. It grew in an additional 137, and this 220, and it grew to 227. Now let's maybe say you push that 65-year retirement age, bam, it almost doubled. But if you can throw in just a little bit more cash over that period of time, you see how this grows. This is an investment calculator. I simply wanted to share this so you can see the value of compounding interest and take advantage of it today, right now. Call your CPA, your certified public accountant. This is not financial advice. I do have to say that, but this is something that will dramatically change your life and change the lives of your family and make life much easier. Think about an investment vehicle to retire on that has tax advantages, and also think about bridge accounts, which are necessary. Now, another thing I wanted to discuss briefly is here. Let's talk about your fitness. Men and women, guys and gals who are in their 30s, you should be going to your doctor twice a year, in my opinion, once a year minimum. And when you go to the doctor, you need to get your blood pressure screening. You need to get a yearly skin exam. Guys, you need to get a testicular exam. And that's just not you checking things out in your significant other. You need to get your blood glucose tested. You need to get a cholesterol screening, which is a full lipid panel. Ladies, all the same things, including a pelvic exam, a pap smear, and a thyroid stimulating hormone test. I agree with this. We speak about this quite often. This is in your 30s. This is yearly minimum. Build baselines every year in your 30s so you can find any sort of abnormalities. Now, as we get into the 40s, guys, same things: blood pressure, skin exam, ball exam, blood glucose test, which is your HbA1c, cholesterol screening, full lipid panel, and the prostate exam. Yes, put on the gloves, little lube on the fingers. Sorry, oh God, doc's going to do it. Get it done. Get it done. Ladies, all the same things. Now we're adding bone density testing, mammograms, and ovarian screening. And then when we get into our 50s, guys, all the same stuff. And we're adding the colonoscopy, right? I just had mine done in my 40s. I was proactive with a colonoscopy, right? I want to be proactive with all of my health, and everything I'm doing here is sharing with you is exactly what I do. Ladies, coronary screening, yearly test for heart disease, fecal occult blood test. If I've actually done that myself, I did have the fecal occult blood test. And I also had a colonoscopy done, an upper and lower endoscopy, as they're called. They go down your throat to check out your digestive system, looking for any ulcers, any growths, anything such as that. And also it goes up the back end, so that what doctor's like, while I'm there, I can do it all. I said, Doc, please do it. I'm going to be out anyway. So now fitness. Get the comprehensive blood work. Work with your doctor once a year at minimum, twice a year, ideally. And continue on. Speak with your doctor. If you have not seen your doctor in the last 6 months, call your doctor today and make an appointment just to get your baselines. That's it. And tell your doctor, please, doc, I want every single test for my age and every additional test my healthcare covers. You're paying for healthcare. If you have it, get everything, because data is beneficial. Have that data, have it in your chart so you have it. So a year from now, if there is something a little bit off, you can go back and see, well, what was I a year ago? And then you can start to build baselines and trends. Now, I will say, as I close this just about and answer questions here, I want to get back to personal fitness. Every single one of you right now should be exercising a minimum of 30 minutes per day, every single day, 7 days a week. That does not mean do 1 hour today and take off tomorrow. It means get into the habit of moving your body for 30 minutes at least every single day in some sort of intentional athletic endeavor, and make this a habit. Make this a habit. If you do not make this a habit, it will not be a habit, and you will be in the habit of becoming sedentary, which is so easy in your 30s and 40s and 50s. It is so easy to put your kids first because you got to get them ready for school, and you got to get the stuff for the homework project, and you got to take them to karate or gymnastics and be there at the game and help them with homework, and the spouse wants something to do, and you got to get that stuff done, and you run around like a crazy person all day, every day. I've been there. I have 2 children in my house. I've been with my wife for 21. We're going into our 22nd year right now. I am a bit of an expert in all of this. So I speak from first-person perspective, and it's very easy to get busy being busy and not being intentional. The most important thing for you is, number 1, fitness, family, finance, future. For me, number 1 is fitness. Take 30 minutes of your day and dedicate to personal fitness. Hopefully that is 45 to 60 minutes. I do not care if it's simply walking. In time, walking turns into calisthenics, and calisthenics turn into resistance, and resistance turns into some sort of skill set specific intensity style of training, whatever that might be. You are building a habit. Also, we're eating healthy food. You follow this channel. I don't need to go deep into that stuff for this video, but you're eating intentionally. You're eating healthy. Hopefully you're following the minimum of the 4x4, which is 4 meals, 4 hours apart, 4 times per day of high net nutrient, healthful, whole food, lean, green, and clean, right? That's the concept here. You're not poisoning yourself with synthetic toxic chemicals. You're not poisoning yourself with alcohol and processed sugar, right? You are getting good sleep. Sleep is so important. It's so valuable. I so value my sleep so much. Sleep is so important in life. And make sure you're getting that beautiful sleep. Now, let me jump in and answer questions here. I wanted to give an overview of what this messy middle is and share it with you. And hopefully it's been beneficial. Jesse, coach, the content this year has been game changer, been smashing my goals like Habib himself. Looking for another fight soon. Can't wait to get in the cage. Jesse, hell yeah, brother. Proud of you, man. I am so happy that you're here on this journey with us, a part of the community. Amir, March 1st, I'm restarting 3 weeks to shred, dropping another 21 pounds so I can utilize Ramadan fasting. Hell yeah, Amir. Very proud of you. Does overeating protein like chicken affect weight if someone keeps carbs and fats at the same level? Well, there's no need to overeat your protein. Eat your baseline. Baseline should be 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of relatively lean body mass. There's no real need to overeat protein. Even the biggest bodybuilders, they're now saying and finding eating more than 2 grams of protein per pound of body mass doesn't really do anything except jack up their gut and cost a ton of money. It's a waste. You want to get about 1 gram of protein per pound of relatively lean body mass in general. 4T says, hey, coach, I weight train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, jits on Tuesday and Thursday nights. My classes are around 9 p.m. Should I still take my protein shake after jiu-jitsu and then eat afterwards? I would, absolutely. Like if you're training, eat, nourish, fuel yourself, repair yourself. Don't worry. It's like, oh man, but then I got to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Eat. Do not eat. Do not train to a deficit and then not have the necessary raw materials to repair the damage incurred. Good question. Libby, what's up, Mike? Fairly new here and so thankful for you. Thank you, Libby. Welcome, by the way. Getting ready to start 3 weeks to shred it. Yes, I have 1,000 questions. Well, I'm here for you. What are your thoughts on devices like Helb, Gobi 3, or Lumen to stay on target nutritionally? Honestly, Libby, I have no idea. I am unfamiliar with these. And let me see, Lumen. Hack your metabolism. No, Libby, okay, I see. I know what this is now. Don't even worry about it. My opinion, and it's going to be semi-controversial or not, total waste. I just actually pulled it up, guys. Yeah, sorry. They're a waste. You do not need to do that. You know the best way to track yourself nutritionally? How do you feel? How do you feel? I feel great. Awesome. How are you performing? Wow, good. Like, how are you doing at work? How's your attitude at home? How's your training going? Good. I feel good. I feel strong. I'm doing more weight for more reps. I'm in the gym a little bit longer. Like, I'm not as, impatient or frustrated as quickly as I used to be at home with my spouse or my kids. Like, I'm in a good place. I'm doing better. Awesome. How do your clothes fit? Everything's getting a little looser in the waist and it's nice and tight where I want it to be. Perfect. How do you kind of look in the mirror? Have you tracked any progress? Photos of a week or two ago compared to the way you look maybe this morning. I look better. I can see more abs. My shoulders are a little more defined. High five. Awesome. What do you weigh? Not that that's a major component, but what do you weigh? Just out of curiosity's sake. I'm down 2 pounds, or it's the same weight, but I could see my abs and I couldn't see those before. High five. So, Libby, the answer is do not worry about those things. Those things, I don't want to say they're a waste of time. My friend, Dr. Andy Galpin, wrote a book called Unplugged. And Andy is a PhD. And the concept of unplugged, or the overall findings of unplugged, was all of these devices, all of these wearables, all of these trackers, all of this technology has actually made the population less fit because they spend so much time worried about what these little pieces of devices are saying. They have not focused on how they actually feel. So that is my strong suggestion to you, Libby, please. But you're here, so always feel free to answer questions or ask questions every day here and on Instagram. I'm always here. Paul, welcome to the family, my man. Signed up for the 12-week program. Can't wait to get started. Paul, now is the time, brother. Whatever I can do to help you, support you, challenge you, cheer for you, I'm here, and the whole community is here for you. Thank you guys all, by the way, for joining us here on this Q&A. We normally don't do lives on this channel. I want to do, I think once a week or so, we'll do lives on this channel also. Sam, kind of hard to stay motivated when the market is down every day. This is the cycle, baby. I'm riding the wave down. I am down. I am down. I am down, down, down. All my stuff is down right now, but I'm not deterred. This is the way the markets work. I was up for the last 2 years. This is the market cycle. I'm still buying. I'm still investing, right? I am still investing. I am dollar cost averaging into the S&P. I am dollar cost averaging into the NASDAQ. I am dollar cost averaging into the total market. That's what I'm looking at, a few sniping opportunities of a few independent stocks, although I'm probably going to hold off. I'm not going to do any individuals right now, but I am dollar cost averaging consistently in right now, because as the market goes down, the prices get better to purchase, knowing 3 years from now, the market will be up. 5 years from now, the market will be up. That's the timeline. That's what we talk about, the retirement account, the bridge account, and then we have our emergency fund and our normal traditional operating fund to live our lives. Libby, thanks for that one. That one more today. Just got some consistency in if intermittent fasting, 14-10, and feel good. Should I stick with this when I start 3 weeks to shredded? Libby, that is a great question. And the 10-hour feeding window is the threshold of living of 3 weeks to shredded. Most of those who follow 3 weeks to shredded will be eating anywhere between 10 and 11 hours feeding window. And then, quote, fasting window is typically, somewhere around that 13 to 14 hours, simply because it takes 10 hours to get all of those meals in, as we suggest you do with 3 weeks to shredded. You need time to eat the food, to digest the food, to move the food through your digestive system before the next meal comes in. 3 weeks to shredded does not overburden your digestive system with 1 or 2 meals per day. We break those into smaller, targeted, highly efficient feeding opportunities to digest, absorb, and move that food through. 10 hours, honestly, Libby, that's about the minimum. When I follow 3 weeks to shredded, and I'm getting ready to jump into my own shredded program here soon, when I do 3 weeks to shredded, I'm usually right at around 10 and a half hours. That's where I look and feel my best. That's when I get all the meals in, because I wake up, I get my cardio, like I do all the fasted things, but then it's never less than 10 hours. Great question. Richard, 9 days in, the 3 weeks of shredded, down 2 pounds, but looking much leaner already. Been getting some cravings at night. Any recommendations? Congrats, Richard. That is awesome. And that's not uncommon, right? It's commonly most people lose approximately 21 pounds in 21 days. And I would not be surprised if you have a huge weight loss boom coming soon. But it sounds like you're actually enhancing your body mass during this process, which makes me think you might have been underfed prior to going into 3 weeks to shredded, and certainly underfed with regards to high net nutrient foods, which will actually fulfill your lean, healthy, functional muscle tissue. Possibly you might have been in a detrained state, so the musculature is starting to swell back up again. It was like with me in January, and I'll finish answering your question. In January, I started dieting in January. I gained 2 pounds and got dramatically leaner because I was in a semi-detrained state. I was eating food that weren't bad, but I wasn't so ultra focused on the high net nutrient intake as when I hit January 1st. So nighttime cravings, I love hot water. I mean, that is one of I'll drink 9 cups of hot tea at night, chamomile tea, or I'll use like 2 ounces of aloe vera juice with a little lemon and hot water, and I will sip on that all night long. Also, a little bit of applesauce with some peanut butter or almond butter is a good snack. If you're following 3 weeks to shredded, Richard, you're probably already getting the apple and the almond butter, maybe the 1-inch square of 73% or greater organic dark chocolate. Perfect. All right. It's as if I know. 100% was flexible dieting on 2,000 calories. Body fat is 20%. Maintenance is 3,000. Makes perfect sense. So, man, Richard, continue on. And what's a strong suggestion? You're going to finish 3 weeks to shredded. I will say completely go back, reverse diet. So day 1 to day 21, go right back, because inside our online platform, if anyone's interested, you can just click the link below that says learn more here to the dolcediet.com. You can learn more down there. But when you go through, you have the ability to reset your program completely. When you're done, reset it again, do 2 rounds. That second round of 3 weeks to shredded, man, is going to be phenomenal. I did this back over the summer. That second 3-week period, my body got crazy. This is what happens to most people. It gets crazy. John, I wake up at 4 a.m., start with cardio for 45 minutes, go to work, first meal at 7, last one at 5. I'm going to the gym at 7 p.m. Am I missing something? Yes. I just start this Monday with the 12-week program. John, welcome. I'm so happy. I'm so glad to see that you're a part of the online program. Also, I would eat after dinner or after you train. If you're training at 7 p.m., last meal's at 5, you go to the gym at 7, brother, you have to get post-workout nutrition in. You have to get post-workout nutrition in, and more than a shake. What I would probably do, let's say I would take that 5 o'clock meal, I would eat that after my workout, and at 5 o'clock, I'd probably throw down maybe 30 grams, depending on how big you are, 20 or 30 grams of a whey isolate, and maybe like a handful of blueberries. Just so you have that nutrition coming in, and then you have the meal at the end of the workout. Strong suggestion from someone who's done it. Joe says, I just watched an old video on best cardio to lose belly fat. You mentioned if one is already lean, to start on living lean. I'm in the 150s and I can see my top left ab. Can I look leaner by gaining muscle? Great question, Joe. Yes. So if you follow our Living Lean program, the goal is to gain lean, healthy, functional muscle tissue while losing total body fat percentage, as compared to our 3 weeks to shredded program, which is focused on maintaining your current level of lean, functional muscle mass while losing as much body fat as possible during this 3-week period of acute weight loss. So 3 weeks to shredded was designed for combat athletes that need to weigh in, but then perform at their athletic potential 24 hours later. Living lean is more about long-term body recomposition. It's a much more flexible menu. It's a much more flexible program. We're not going so deep into calorie management where we're 3 weeks to shredded. We're running a concurrent calorie cycle and a carbohydrate cycle. So the calories are waving up and down as the carbohydrates are waving up and down, but not on the exact same schedule, in a synergistic schedule, which allows us to keep the muscle while getting super shredded. Living Lean, on the other hand, is focused on balancing protein, carbs, fats, total calories in a manner that allows you guys and gals to keep building lean, healthy, functional muscle tissue and drying out, or I should say, enhancing total body fat loss in the process. Which is right for you, Joe? That's the question for you. Like, I like the jump start, me personally. I like to jumpstart. A lot of people, they like the jumpstart. So, Joe, I would join the 12-week program. You said you're if one is already lean, to start Living Lean. Start the Living Lean program, Joe. But that's our 12-week program. Click more information below. That's where you'll find it. I would start with the 4 weeks of 3 weeks to shredded, which is a part of the 12-week program. That's going to give you a good jump start. That's going to speed up your metabolism. And then you have the ability to keep building muscle as you enter the Living Lean phase while dropping body fat percentage. That would be my thoughts for you, my man. Would you rather do the 20-minute morning or fasted list? Both. I like doing the 20-minute morning and then the list right afterwards. That's kind of my holy grail. That's my best day right there. And I do a hybrid of that every single day. I'm going to do a full video. I just talked with a local videographer who I actually know and like and would allow into my house. I'm probably going to do a full day. Like, what do I actually do? And make it be very legitimate. What do I actually do in my day? Just to demystify, I said, man, it's actually going to be boring, because it's so simple. I think my day is so simple and so boring. There's nothing hocus pocus fancy like a lot of the influencers try and make it sound like. It's just swinging the axe, man. But I will show it. I will show my full routine for you guys. John, started Monday at 232 and I'm down to 226. Bang! Down 6 pounds in 3 days. John, absolutely crushing it. I'm glad I found this program. Thanks for everything. John, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for taking a part. And thank you for putting in the work. That's what it's about, man. 6 pounds down in 3 days on our 3 weeks to shredded program. If anyone's interested, just click that link below the video for more information and use the Dolce Nose discount. That'll give you 20% off. That's not listed down there. So that's for those of you who stayed this deep into the video. Champion Chili last night made my 11-year-old living shredded. Hell yeah, Brian. That is awesome. I mean, I love seeing families just live the lifestyle. Healthy, high net nutrient foods, homemade, family stuff. All right, guys and gals, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I appreciate the time that we all get to spend together. This is awesome. It is an honor. It is not lost on me. And I know that you have choices with how you spend your time. The fact that you spend a few minutes with me every single day here is appreciated. If you're interested, I would ask you to consider subscribing to this new channel, the Mike Dolce Knows channel. Be one of our first 1,000 subscribers here today. If you do it today, we're about to actually break through that 1,000, and then we're making the next goal to 10,000. That is our goal here. We're really trying to work hard and grow and provide you guys with value, non-clickbait, non-sellout, non-garbage, just straightforward, honest, helpful, valuable information. That's what we're trying to do here. So I appreciate you guys so much. No, my man. Not yo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Are the best. You guys are the best. We as a group, as a community, are the best. Thank you guys for being here. And until next time, boom.